Hello, welcome to the NSI Professional Services demonstration of the Advanced Bates Stamping component. Before we get started on this demonstration, let's push a document into the system so that we can see what that would look like. And then we will go through the configuration, pick a date here, and then hit submit. And we'll talk about the various configuration options. Now, in my particular configuration, I'm using auto capture. That, of course, can be any of the standard capture components within the AutoStore framework. Any of the device components or scan objects. If I configure my document here, I'm going to talk a little bit about Advanced Bates and the difference between Advanced Bates and what I would call normal Bates. Normal Bates stamping requires a Bates stamp server. And that Bates stamp server is responsible for maintaining a series of sequence numbers for various document types or departments. And then, depending on the document type that's scanned or the particular workflow that's defined, you then select which sequence number you want applied to your particular document. If, however, you don't need a sequence number, you, for example, just need the pages of a document numbered, or you need the number of the individual documents themselves numbered because you're maintaining controlled copies or something like that, then Bates stamp really isn't quite for you, and you need to be able to control what that input value is. In my particular case, I already have a sequence number being generated in a line of business application, so I've used the data filter component to do a SQL query to go pull the max value out of my existing line of business. I'm going to add one to that and then seed that as my starting value. So I don't need Bates stamping server to keep track of my next sequence number. My line of business application already has that. Now, in order to be able to apply this stamp, there's a variety of parameters. Obviously, the first one we just talked about, which is the start number, but then also what's the precision of the number? How many digits do you want? In the application, this stamping will actually zero fill those documents and pad it out to the precision that you need. And then, much like the Bates component itself, then you have complete control over the stamping, where you can set a prefix value, you can set postfix values, you can skip particular elements. You can embed those stamps into the image documents themselves. You'll notice this is TIFF type information. If you look down at the bottom here, there's PDF type documentation. Advanced Bates supports both TIFF and PDF. You have complete control over the font. You can make it bold, you can make it large, you can set the color to red if you want something to make it really pop on the page. And then there's a preview function here as well. So if I click preview, I actually get a layout of the document where what my stamp might look like. Obviously this hasn't run, so it'll be 0 at this point in the preview. But it gives me a good visual indicator as to where on the document it will go. You'll notice multiple pages are supported. And then in terms of position, so that was font, and then in terms of position, I can set predefined positions. I can specify in millimeters or hundredths of an inch. I can specify predefined positions and set margins, right, to make room for my stamp. Or I can do a custom position, and if I do that, right, then that's just going to give me a red box. I can drag and drop, rubber band that, make it whatever size, location that I want it to be. Okay. And then, of course, this page also has a preview. So I can see not only font and size, but now I can see relative position within my preview. And, of course, now, while we've been talking, my job has finished. I have a tracking number. I'm starting at this particular one is stamped at 124. And I'm good to go. So if you have any additional questions about PS offerings, components, you can read about those in the Professional Services Guide that's on the website. If you have any additional questions about engaging professional services or NSI, please reach out to your regional sales representative or partner. Thank you very much for your time today.